Did Charlie Bothel's dad and stepmom abuse him so much that he himself ran and hid himself away for 11 days? The kids that run away and stay away are being abused in the home. That's
Absolutely.
the way that works.
Absolutely. And we're missing two other things. The fact that the attorney is almost blaming the child, saying he was a bad kid. That is,
well, that does
I can't
happen.
believe
That's the other possibility, that the kid is a psychopath in the making.
We have this question of who is the one really kind of to blame here. Is the child the one who's all messed up, or is it the father? But I believe it still originated with the father, because at this point, the boy probably has suffered chronic abuse.
Yeah. When kids are abused, it changes their brain development. It changes how they regulate emotions. It changes how they think about adults. And the first thing on their mind, oftentimes, is get away. And they want to manipulate in order to get control of their environment. And they have real difficulty with relationships and real difficulty with society at large. This is our most tweeted story of the day. Although we've had some very tense stories today. Mike, what do you say? You've got a new baby. Can you imagine going to Craigslist? Your wife would kill you if you did something like that.
No. Well, here's the deal. The children are okay. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Then everybody should be counting their blessings, because Craigslist is for like college furniture and threesomes. That's about all that it's useful for.
You could do a credit check on the people you employ. You'll see a lot of those red flags. If you're employing someone, ask them for consent. And if it's a nanny, you never know. You want to see her credit history, and they could have caught that.
I am going to have night terrors about Evie and her red flags.
I'm going to interview all your babysitters, Dr. Drew. You just bring them to
and
me.
everybody in my life, Evie. I want you to check through everyone. I'm good with that.
I will take care of you.
Let's get with this other story that's being tweeted about more than any other tonight. It's the Georgia father who left his son in a hot car for 7 hours. The boy died from overheating. Now we know both parents had done internet searches about child deaths inside vehicles.
All day, people have been addressing this sort of thing and saying, hey, we all make weird internet searches. Yeah, I make internet searches about whether or not my hair is going to stay straight when it's, too warm outside. I'm not going to make internet searches about whether or not, how long it takes for a baby to stay alive in a car.
Yeah.
And then coincidentally, my child dies in a car.
And Evie, drop some bombs here. You see red flags throughout this eulogy.
If I were to take this, I did a breakdown of it. The one thing is, with regard to the mother, if you listen to it and if you see it printed out, it's all I, me.
Yep.
You hardly hear it discuss Cooper. It's about, I will cherish that moment. How am I even standing here today?
Yep.
I wonder that myself. I ask myself, I should be crumpled into a heap of snot and tears. So she's telling you it's about me.
Yes.
And also the things where she talks about how Cooper will not have to suffer. She's giving you examples of things that she went through that she did not like. She is projecting onto what Cooper would have had to go through. And she's saying he will not have to suffer. What she's telling you is that she suffered, or she's suffering. I want to touch on one more quick thing, Dr. Drew, if you let me. The father. The father said something very quick. Thank you for everything you've done for my boy. That's not appropriate in some sense. He would say his son's name. Thank you for Cooper. My boy. When someone uses that, my boy, my son, but doesn't give a name, it implies distance. They're putting distance between themselves and the person.
There are so many clues at this point that this seems to be not only premeditated, but that the two of them have worked together to some degree to make this happen and unfold in the way that it has.
Hold on, Evie, hold on. I'm going to get from Tiffany. I haven't heard from you yet. Tiff and Judy seems to have changed her ideas since Jane's show. I didn't hear you saying that an hour ago. So what do you think, Tiffany?
Well, we didn't have Evie an hour ago, and I think she brings up some wonderful points.
There's so many disturbing facts about that case. But what I want to point out is how great it is to have Evie working with us, and how much of a reality check she gives us, and how happy I am I don't see the world the way she does. Because everything looks suspicious to her, but it's what the world she lives in. It's very different than the world I live in of sick people. So I'm glad she's there to give us that. She's phenomenal.
Right.
This is really one of the saddest stories. Again, please, but for the grace of God, none of us have gone there, I hope. Like I said once on this show last week, I just remember that we blinked and had a child walk away from us, and it's unbelievable that everything is okay. It's unbelievable. You can blink, stuff happens, and if you do it for too long, or you do it inappropriate in a circumstance where it can really hurt somebody, you've got to be hyper vigilant with kids. You've got to be checking and double checking and triple checking. Back with Sam. Now, many of the stories we deal with here every night involve psychiatric disorders and mental health, and there's a lot of judgment, a lot of shame, a lot of stigma, and very little understanding why For instance, sometimes these disorders manifest themselves violently. This woman, Sheila Shea, 9 years ago today, she had a psychiatric decompensation, stabbed her son, her 6-year-old, to death. It is a heartbreaking story.
I thought people were after me. So I got very paranoid. They had me diagnosed as paranoid schizophrenic. And I thought that if I killed my kids and then killed myself, that there wouldn't be anybody to hurt them. And I put my hand on Patrick's chest, and he opened his eyes, and I don't remember anything after that.
And I remember holding Patrick and just asking him to talk to me and telling him to say his name and asking him if he was okay. And the first thing he said to me was, "Tell Mom I love her."
I say it all the time, you know. I would sell my soul if I could take it back. If you have a shred of humanity in you, you know, and you take a life, it's indescribable how it makes you feel.
You know me, I'm one of those, and I'm like, people are evil, you know, mental illness is just a crutch half the time. And, you know, I watched this woman and I saw the agony in her face. I changed my mind and to look at how her own daughter, who had to hold, it's so emotional to even think that like so many people were affected by that.
It just shows that there really are two kinds of killers. There's the mentally ill kind that you can rehabilitate, and then there are those who really just lost their minds or psychopaths, whatever you want to call them. And this is definitely
evil.
not
Let's call them evil.
I mean, I just saw the tweets on the screen. They're still saying send her back to jail, and I don't know if they don't get it. I don't know if they don't maybe have the compassion. Maybe they didn't watch the entire interview. I just don't understand. After seeing that, I am forever changed.
And Vanessa, I want to thank you tonight because you brought it home for me. You really did. I expected you to be a tough nut to crack, and it meant a lot to me that you were able to listen to this and take it in and make meaning from it. It gives me faith that other people had the same experience, and I really want to thank you.
I thank you for opening my eyes, honestly. I truly do.
And then putting a nice bow around it by making meaning out of this. This child need not have died in vain. If we all learn from this and do something with this information that improves the lives for all of us.
Look out for each other.
Agreed.